What's up guys, Phoenix here. This video we're going to be talking about 4 new cards spoiled for release in the OCG, and this video goes hand in hand with the previous video that I put up on my channel where I was talking about A to Z Dragon Buster Cannon, which is the ultimate form, the ultimate boss monster of this new theme of support that comes out that goes hand in hand with the XYZ Dragon Cannon theme. This theme being ABCs, using ABC to summon ABC Dragon Buster, which you see on the screen, and then utilizing that with XYZ Dragon Cannon to summon A to Z Dragon Buster Cannon. So I guess the entire theme now can be officially called A to Z because the ultimate, form of all of these cards literally has the term A to Z in its name, because you can't really call it ABC XYZ. That doesn't work very well. At least with V to Z, you could do VW XYZ Dragon Catapult Cannon. But with this one, you actually have to just kind of go, it's A to Z. That's simple. But anyway, the 4 new cards in question are the new Fusion Monster, ABC Dragon Buster, A, Assault Core, B, Buster Drake, and C, Crush Wyvern. The 3 new Union Light Machine monsters that go into the theme. And I'm going to be talking about each card individually, doing this sort of video in this format where I'm not doing webcam, face cam, any of that sort of nonsense. But I am going to have the English translated proxies up on screen in place of the original Yu-Gi-Oh! Wiki images, and those links will also be in the description if you want to go for those as well. Yeah, there's just too many cards to talk about to actually put it into one of my regular formatted videos. But anyway, ABC Dragon Buster, level 8 Machine Fusion Effect Monster, 3000 attack, 2800 defense. Its requirements are 1 A Assault Core, 1 B Buster Drake, and 1 C Crush Wyvern. Must first be special summoned from your extra deck by banishing the above cards you control or in your graveyard. You do not use polymerization. Once per turn, during either player's turn, you can discard 1 card, then target 1 card on the field, banish it. During your opponent's turn, you can tribute this card, then target 3 of your banished Light Machine type Union monsters with different names. Special summon them. This is a quick effect. So, this card is inherently just a lot better than XYZ Dragon Cannon. One, because of, in summoning conditions, it actually lets you use monsters that are in the graveyard. So it lets you use the ABC monsters that actually hit the grave, which they have effects that trigger when they hit the grave as well. So instead of having to have them all on the field, like with XYZ and VW, like how those had to operate, you can actually use ones that are in the grave, which is actually really neat. It makes this thing a lot easier to facilitate its summoning of it. It's inherently better effect-wise than XYZ Dragon Cannon as well, because XYZ Dragon Cannon discarded a card to destroy a card on the field, whereas this card is during either player's turn, which I think XYZ Dragon Cannon might be during either player's turn as well, but I'm almost certain that it actually might not be. But this is during either player's turn, and its effect is you can discard a card, then target a card on the field and banish it. So instead of destroying, it banishes, which means it gets around certain floaters and things of that regard. It's kind of upsetting that it does target. I feel like it could have easily just been you discard a card, ban as cost, and then banish a card on the field. I feel like this card could have easily gotten away with not targeting. One, because it is a fusion that is, even though they did make its summoning conditions a lot easier, it is still kind of a pain to summon. But also the fact that there's so many untargetable things in this format that this card being harder to summon than anything generic, in Cosmos, hell, even Magispectors, anything like that. I feel like the card could have definitely have used that extra boost, because this entire new theme of ABC cards is very much adjusted to power creep. It's legacy support that's adjusted to power creep, like a lot of the legacy support has been for the Magna Warriors, the Silent Magicians, the Silent Swordsmen. All of this stuff is just really properly adjusted to power creep. If the game ever slows down just a slight notch, these could all actually be really viable because they are very good in card quality. But anyway, its last effect, during your opponent's turn, not either player's turn, during your opponent's turn, you can tribute this card, then target 3 of your banished Light Machine type Union monsters with different names and special summon them. That's actually really cool because it allows this deck capability of dodging effects. Like if you take this into D-Prison, Mirror Force, something like that, you can just use this effect, tribute it, get your 3 dudes that got banished back. It also gives you some card economy there because you did have the ability to banish from graveyard to summon this, so you can banish the guys from grave to summon this, and then you can then tribute it and bring them all back to the board. So it actually gives you some card economy there. But ultimately, it just makes the monster function a lot like a Ritual Beast, just a little bit worse because it doesn't put itself back in the extra deck, and it allows you to just dodge certain key effects, as well as the fact that you have built-in removal. So ultimately, it's actually just a very solid boss monster, but it is ultimately just a stepping stone on the way to A to Z Dragon Buster Cannon. But anyway, the cards you use to make this thing: A, Assault Core, light level 4 Machine Union Effect Monster, 1900 attack, 200 defense. Once per turn, you can either target 1 Light Machine type monster you control, equip this card to that target, or unequip this card and special summon it. While equipped by this effect, the equipped monster is unaffected by your opponent's monster effects. If the equipped monster would be destroyed by battle or card effect, you can destroy this card instead. If this card is sent from the field to the graveyard, you can add one other Union monster from your graveyard to your hand. So, hits the grave, adds another Union monster from graveyard to hand, except for this card. So it can be another A Assault Core as well. It just has to be a card other than this one, and it has to be a Union monster. You can equip it to things generically. There are new support cards that allow you to equip Union monsters a lot easier than summoning them and equipping them, stuff like that, but we'll get to that in a different video as well, because there's a whole new support of like Union stuff, which is actually all really cool. And I do plan on getting to all of it. But anyway, making the thing unaffected by monster effects is actually really cool, very neat. All of these things have these little niche things when they're equipped that make them unaffected to either monster spells or I think traps. I think that's literally it. I think they all have a built-in negation against spell track and monster effect. So ultimately, you can like start trying to like throw these onto like one of your fusions, like A to Z or ABC Dragon Buster or XYZ Dragon Cannon. You can attempt to try and start throwing these cards onto them and making them unaffected to certain things, which is actually really cool and really neat. So all these cards really are very good at facilitating the summon and protection of your resources. So, B Buster Drake. Another level 4 light machine Union monster with 1500 over 1800 attack and defense. This card has the same. You can equip it or unequip it and special summon it. While it is equipped to a monster, it's unaffected by spell effects. And then if this card is sent from the field to the graveyard, you can add one Union monster from your deck to your hand. So instead of adding a Union monster from grave back to hand, this lets you add one from deck to hand. So it gives you a searcher when it floats. It allows you to protect from battle or destruction and card effect by killing itself off, and then while it's equipped, it's unaffected by spells. The monster you equip it to is unaffected by spells. So that's actually really, really good. That's really strong. That's really powerful. So, ultimately, like, you're going to be trying to equip as many of these as possible to your big fusions like ABC Dragon Buster or A to Z Dragon Buster Cannon. Ultimately, if you can get ABC Dragon or A to Z Dragon Buster Cannon, like equipped with A and B, or even just like B and C, I don't even think it needs A. Or maybe, I don't know. It has built-in negation, so I think like as long as you have C on it so it can't be Solemn Striked, like then you get to negate everything else. So ultimately, like all these cards facilitate a lot of really cool stuff. And the fact that this lets you add Union monsters from deck to hand when it hits the grave, while serving as a form of protection, is also very cool in that of itself. But the last card, C Crush Wyvern, another level 4 light machine Union monster with an effect. It's got the same effect of you can equip it or unequip it and special summon it. If the monster it's equipped to would die by battle or card effect, you can destroy it instead. It's got 1200 attack, 2000 defense, but this one is, while it's equipped by this effect, the equipped monster is unaffected by your opponent's trap effects. And then if this card is sent from field to graveyard, you can special summon one Union monster from your hand. So honestly, this one's probably the worst one. It's probably only like really, really good in the aspect of, like I've already said, you can put A to Z Dragon Buster Cannon out, which if you have cards in your hand negates everything, and that card's only inherent weakness is counter traps like Solemn Strike. So this card could be equipped to A to Z Dragon Buster Cannon, and then you are now unaffected by Solemn Strike, and you can now effectively negate everything else in the game. So there is that, and that's honestly what I think this card's main use will be, because like when it hits the graveyard, its effect is kind of niche because you do get to special summon a Union monster from your hand. You do get to like bypass your normal summon, because that is something that this deck does struggle with. All Union decks have always struggled with that in the past, because you have to have the monster you're going to equip to, and then the monster that you get to summon that's going to be the Union monster. But ultimately, I think all these cards are designed really, really well. The fact that they give like generic blanket protection from spells, traps, and monster effects. The new fusion monster is actually really good in card economy because it allows you to banish these from the grave where they already got effect when they hit the graveyard. You get to banish these from grave to summon ABC Dragon Buster. You don't require any of them on the field. They just have to be in the graveyard. So if all three of these are in the graveyard, you literally just get to summon ABC Dragon Buster for absolutely free, which is absolutely neat and something that's actually worth like playing into. And then ultimately, like, these all form a protective layer, which is actually really, really cool, really good. Like, they all have the generic, like, destroy by battle card effect protection, but then they also make them unaffected to certain niche things, like monster effects, spell effects, like trap effects. I really like all of these cards. I think they've really been adjusted to power creep very nicely, and like I said, if the game ever slowed down enough, or if this thing gets enough legacy support and make it that much faster, like, this could actually potentially be a deck that's actually playable. It's very much so. It's got the boss monster that's good. It's got the stepping stones that are all good. It's got like the support that actually like gets you like access into your union cards faster. Like, all of these different things are actually really, really relative and like relevant to making this archetype and theme actually playable and actually good in the current state of the Yu-Gi-Oh game. But Anyway, I want to know what you guys think about all these cards in the comments down below. I'm going to have a hell of a time trying to put the English proxies on top of these pictures because I've been changing through screens multiple times. In fact, I probably actually just won't. I'm literally just going to leave it as it is, and I'm just going to put the English proxies that I make in the description down below for you guys to use. But I am not going to actually go out of my way to put them in the video because of the fact that I've been changing screens so many times, and I don't want to sit here and edit all of those in. Or I might. Who knows? It just depends on how I feel when it comes time to edit this video. But anyways, always guys, let me know what you guys think about these cards in the comments down below and anything that you think I might have missed. Now keep in mind, I am going to be going over the other Union support that's coming out with this in the same structure deck, like the field spell that searches Union cards, all this nonsense. I'm going to be going over those in a separate video as well. Just didn't want this one to get too long, and I wanted to talk about the core of what our new support is based off of. So there is that. But anyway, as always guys, thanks for watching. Like, comment, subscribe to all the nonsense you usually do. Links are in the description to the proxies that I said I'm going to be making. If they're on screen, great. If they're not, they're there. So there's English versions of these cards for you guys to access and print out if you guys want to make proxies for this theme and try out this deck IRL with some friends or something. So there is that. Other than that, if you want to support me, clicking ads on my videos and disabling ad block and view my videos is the best way to support me. If you can disable ad block for a few seconds, refresh the video, and then click some ads, and then put the ad block back on when you're done, I would be greatly appreciative of that, and it would help me out so much in the current point in time and situation I'm in life right now, because I'm sure we can all kind of agree that life kind of sucks. Like, it's a bitch, but like that's something I'm sure all of you can relate to, and it's like I'm in a really weird position right now. So if that's something you guys want to do to help me out, it takes no time, no money out of your day, and like it just helps me out and helps make me justifiable to keep making these sort of video content for you guys to enjoy if you guys like this sort of content. But other than that, I'm gonna stop begging now. So other than that, as always guys, thanks for watching. Again, let me know what you guys think about these cards in the comments down below, and as always guys, take care.